Today's adventure will take us back here to the Freehold Raceway Mall in Freehold, New Jersey. What you saw in the before the intro was the transition of Nordstrom turning into Von Maur, which is slated to open here next year. It's From what I saw, they took the windows out of the old Nordstrom. Because I think the Von Maur stores have a certain look to them. If you ever been to a Von Maur in a different state, they all have this signature look to it. So I think that's what's happening. But before I start this vlog, I want to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. As you know, as this vlog is being posted, it'll be a few days before America's 250th birthday. I don't know if there's much to celebrate with that, but let's make a positive outlook. It is America's 250th birthday. So, with that, just have a safe, fun weekend, and just have a blast, and with the fireworks or barbecues or whatnot. So, this is my first vlog since the last one I did last December, right before Christmas. And the mall is doing pretty well. I mean, I read articles that several new stores are going to open here, and one is the Gap. You'll see that later on in the video as I'm walking through the mall. Yeah. So, like I said, when I did the vlog on Lehigh Valley, I did say the Gap is making a comeback in malls. And I've seen that. You know, I saw that at KOP. I saw that when I went to Lehigh Valley. So, yeah, the Gap is starting to come back. Which is very, very weird, because one time you could walk in a mall and not see a Gap in it. Now you're seeing all kinds of Gaps in different malls, and it's like it's coming back. So, yeah, good for them. What's a mall without the Gap? It's like a hot dog without mustard. But as I said, this mall is doing very, very well, and it's just going. This was a mall that had to compete with 3 or 4 other malls when it first opened back in 1990. You know, competed with Monmouth Mall, Seaview Square, Brunswick Square, and they're all gone. This is the only sole primary mall here in Monmouth County, when you had like 2 others in the county, but close to the shore area, and they're all gone. I think what drew people here versus Monmouth and Seaview is the fresh lineup of stores that both malls didn't have. I mean, they still had the old McCroy's, and they had this type of store, and you know, didn't have stores like what Freehold had. I mean, yeah, they did have what Freehold had, but it just wasn't cutting it at those 2 malls, and that's why they are long gone. But this mall seems to be doing pretty well, and I'm happy to see that, and I'm happy to say that. You know, this is the town I grew up in. At one time, we had to go to those 2 malls in particular, because we didn't have this mall here. And then you had the small Manalapan Mall, which is not far away, which is now the Manalapan Epicenter, which is like a big box shopping center now, versus the small, tiny Manalapan Mall that was there a long time ago, which never got the expansions it needed, and just sat like that for like over a good 20-something years. before everything changed over. So walking around the mall, there wasn't too many vacancies. This mall, I would say, has a good 97% occupancy, which is really great. And with Macerich running this mall, it's going strong. I mean, this mall will be here for some time to come. I don't see this mall going anywhere. It's not doing bad. Like I said, it had its growing pains in the beginning, but I think they finally got it right, and it's still going strong. Foot traffic in this mall was pretty decent today, being it's a Monday. Now that everyone's out of school, they already did the graduations. I don't know. I guess it differs by towns. But this mall was pretty packed on a Monday, which is kind of surprising. Versus coming here on the weekend, which is probably going to be 20 times more packed. And as I said, I've been here on weekends. It's totally crazy here. So yeah, glad to see it's doing pretty good. And yeah, it's got, yeah, down here walking towards Dick's House of Sport. There's some vacancies, but I'm quite sure something will open up here in no time. I see they closed the Sephora. They're gonna redo that, and whole bunch of other stores. So this mall is doing pretty well. They just recently opened a Levi's store here, and then this store called Jack and Jones. I guess some kind of clothing store. Not up on that one. That just recently opened because they did have the wall saying coming soon when I was here in December when I did the vlog. So right now I'm walking up towards JCPenny. That's the third anchor that opened in this mall in 1991. This was originally supposed to be a Hanes, but by the time the mall opened, Hanes was phased out for Lord & Taylor, and Lord & Taylor did open here in 1990 on their own. They didn't take over the Hanes or whatever. So I'll switch it over to the other side, which is now the Von Maur wing, which is stores coming in the fall of 2027. And I think this store is going to do pretty well here in the East Coast. Like I said, they do have a store way upstate New York, up by Rochester. I thought it was Buffalo, but it's Rochester, New York. And that's the only one they have on the East Coast right now, currently. And I think there's one down south, like down by the Atlanta area. But if this store starts off good, I'm quite sure they'll open more in the area. I'm surprised they started with Freehold first. They usually start with Paramus. I mean, they could use that anchor inside Garden State Plaza. Why Freehold starting out is beyond me, but hey. I guess you gotta start someplace different. And recently, Nordstrom closed a store at the Christiana Mall in Delaware. If things go well, maybe they'll open one there. Who knows? So this wing is pretty much filled up by one store. On the opposite side, they got H&M. And then they got this store called it's Urban something. But it's backed up by Charlotte Russe, which sells men's and women's clothing. That's very unusual for Charlotte Russe. They usually don't do that. So, yeah, this is a good thing for this mall, and this is why this mall has been pretty successful since. Right below, downstairs, is where the Gap is going to open. So the Gap is coming back into the mall. I forgot where it was when it was in the mall the first time. I can't remember where they had it. I need to find like an old directory from the 90s, because there definitely was a Gap here back in the day when the mall opened. It's kind of weird that they closed and now they're coming back. I don't know. It's so strange. But hey, it is what it is. Welcome back, Gap. So I thank you guys for watching the July 2026 update of the Freehold Raceway Mall in Freehold, New Jersey. Like, subscribe, and favor, and I will see you guys on the next one.